Hi, Joe Cerrone.
And Al Rosen.
Welcome to our weekly Zoom meeting for CAD 116 Basic AutoCAD Module 6. Module 6 is being released today, and it's just one assignment this week to complete this architectural floor plan drawing. We're going to draw that floor plan, and we're going to add the blocks for the plumbing fixtures. Textbook reading is Chapter 12, Arranging and Patterning Drawings, and be sure to take the module quiz under Quizzes and Exams for Module 6. The blue links will link us to the fundamentals. This actually goes to the AutoCAD website. Al and I used to use this website, but it has some great content in here, going through working with dimension standards and styles, and some basic aspects of dimension terminology. And the reason we want to know the terminology is so that as we work with the software, that we develop a vocabulary designed for mechanical and architectural drafting. And so we have these standards like unidirectional dimensioning, and this is sort of a mechanical aspect where you can see we've got units in decimal format versus working with architectural dimensioning, and then being able to look at how we set up scales for dimensions. Just tips and tricks for creating dimensional drawings. Here is the lab. We click on this. Your instructions are to use the architectural title block, draw and modify the floor plan as shown, use the layers for dimensions, walls, and text. In other words, we want you to use proper layering techniques so that we can turn those layers on and off as they're needed. And then we're going to use the design center for the faucet, sink, bathtub, etc. And so we have this basic detailed drawing of a hotel room. We have the door right here, and then we have this closet space and a bathroom. All right, the finished drawing will look like this. And so we'll put that onto the architectural title block. And then as we look at how this is set, here's our model space. And if I click on some of the plumbing fixtures, we can see that they're set. Quick properties tell me that it's a block. It's on the furniture layer. I would put this on the plumbing layer, but there's always a few glitches here. Drawing is annotated properly. Back to the main splash page. And then these are pretty much the same. You'll need the B-size architectural title block. And so if we click on that, we download it, and we open that. This is your starting point. You'll start with the blank architectural title block. Back to the main splash page.
You're the wrong one, Joe.
Yeah, it has a tendency to link to old classes. That's all right. And then here's our tutorial. And this is a well-made tutorial. It goes through all the detailing aspects of working with this exercise. It is a little bit dated because we're pre-D2L. And so as we look at how this is created, we go through a lot of the same applications where we'll show the menu bar, we'll bring up our curriculum, and then we'll go through and we'll start drafting the walls using direct distance measurements, 17 feet. And then we'll work on inserting the plumbing fixtures. doors. And setting up the viewport. So we didn't do the dimensioning in here, but I think we're okay with that. Back to the main splash page. Here's what the completed drawing will look like. Plotted as PDF. All right. With that, I'm going to come back here to the main splash page. Module 5 assignments are due tomorrow, October 8th, and Module 6 assignments are due next week, October 15th. Al, is there anything else that we'd like to add?
Yes, if you go down to content, please, and go down to chapter 5, content up on top, please. Go down to chapter 5, you will see Design Center. It's just to go over what it looks like there. Keep going. I think it's lower, but almost on the bottom, someplace. On the side, the left-hand side, please. I'm sorry, my bad. Okay, maybe it's not showing up there. It should show up, but okay. I have to check on it. My bad.
All right, so let's take a look at it. It looks to me like we'll need to add the Design Center content, but it's fairly easy. It's just a link to a zip file. If I come back here to my floor plan and I just demonstrate that, we'll put that link in there. But here's my Design Center right here. And what you'll do is you'll download the Design Center and then you'll open that in the manager. And so here's my CAD. I'm using a different classroom for it, but in here I have my Design Center 1. And so here's my Design Center content. So if I select Design Center, I can then take a look at the different content. And so, for example, if we wanted to go with plumbing fixtures, we can go here to plumbing and we just hit the little plus mark. I can hit bathtubs. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to my layers and I'm going to go to my, it has a furniture layer. I'm going to make a new layer called plumbing. So I'll say layers, layer properties, and then I'll make a new layer here. We'll call it plumbing. And then we'll set the color. And I think we'll just set this as this color here. Let's set it completely different so that we can see it. There we go. And then we'll set the line weight to 0.5 millimeters. And then we'll make that layer active. So by using layers, we're able to separate things. And you really want to do that as you work with these drawings, because when somebody else opens up the drawing and they have to reformat and put everything on the proper layers, it takes time. So once we have our layer set and we have it as being on and active, we can then go and we can take a look at our bathtubs. And so if I click on baths, here's everything from towel bars to bathtubs. And then I can just drag and drop those into the room. And so if I click on it, I'm going to drag it off to the side here, click. It asks me if I want to scale it. I'm just going to hit the defaults for 1. And so there's my bathtub. I can then orientate that by clicking on it, rotate that about the base point, like that. And then I can locate that in the bathroom. And so I'm going to just move it from this endpoint over to this endpoint here. Now I didn't take the exact size bathtub, so it's just showing up a little wonky here, but for display purposes, I think we're okay. We can take another view of it and see if it's 3-dimensional as usual. Al's got it set up for that. And so you have these blocks that you can use that are both 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional. If we change it to a conceptual display, we can see that. And then we can add some of the other fixtures. And so as we start to work with this, I'm going to collapse the bathrooms and I'm going to look for some toilets. And so if I want to put in just a regular flush toilet, I go to blocks. And then I can go and grab that block, drag and drop it in. That's a 2D. So let's see if we can find something a little better. There we go. This one looks like a public bathroom kind of thing, but we'll just work with it for now. When you line these up, you want to be in the top view, right, Al?
Yes, sir.
It just makes the layouts easier to do. And so we'll move that. And I'm just gonna, my computer is really slow today. And then I'll rotate that. And then that's sort of where we're going with the course. We want you to be able to create architectural floor plans with fixtures, creating them on the proper layers, and being able to draw in detail a dimensioned drawing. We want you then to put it into the title block, put it into a viewport, and set the scale for that. And so again, just as a review, I'm just going to take a blank layout tab. If I double click in the viewport, it becomes active. And then if I double click on the middle mouse wheel, it will do a zoom all. And then what I want to do is I want to set the scale. 1/4 of an inch equals a foot, lock it, and then be sure to fill out the title block information. Don't forget to include the date and the scale. All right. So that's a rundown on Lab 5 and how to do Lab 5. You can use Design Center, download that content, and the content is great because you can use that content for a number of other applications. All right, with that, Al, I'm going to toss it back to you. Is there anything else that we need to cover for Module 6?
Yeah, if you refresh your screen right there, please, and then go down. There it is. That up a little bit, please. There's Design Center. If you double click, left click on it, please,
Ah, very good.
and just download it.
So you can download the Design Center content. And like we were saying, there is a ton of content. And as you work with content, that really helps you as you proceed on with your CAD skills. All right. So with that, I'm going to stop the recording and open things up to questions. This ends our weekly Zoom video meeting.